Every so often, a quiet thought shows up. Maybe I could start again from here. Not a whole new life, just a cleaner line to step over. Psychology has a name for why that pull gets stronger at certain moments. It is called a fresh start. A new week, a new month, the middle of the year, each one works. A mid-year reset is simply one of the clearest. This video is about the people who use that opening well, one small step at a time. If the first half of the year didn't go to plan, that's most of us. Most reset videos skip the part that actually matters. The reason a mid-year reset works is not extra motivation. It is a real effect psychologists call the fresh start effect. When you cross a moment that feels like a clean line, a new month, a fresh Monday, your old slip-ups start to feel like they belong to a past version of you. That makes the next small step easier to take. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from a landmark. And one of these landmarks is smaller than all the rest. It's also the one almost everyone walks right past. First up, the checkpoint trick. Before the science, the micro win. Tonight, find the next clean line on your calendar. Next Monday, or the first of the month. Circle it and write one tiny action next to it. One action. Not a new routine, not a plan. One action. That's the entire assignment, and it works better than it has any right to. The science behind it starts in 2014. Researchers Dye, Milkman, and Rios dug through years of real-world data. Searches for the word diet, gym visits, commitments to personal goals. All of them spiked right after temporal landmarks. New weeks, new months, birthdays, the start of a semester. They called it the fresh start effect, and the pattern held across all three studies. Video games solved this ages ago. Your character goes down, and you don't restart the whole game. You respawn at the last checkpoint, slightly annoyed, fully intact. A temporal landmark is a checkpoint for real life. The mechanism is quietly brilliant. A clean line on the calendar opens a new mental chapter. The old slip-ups get filed into the previous one. Your brain seems to treat them like a closed accounting period. So the pull you feel around a mid-year reset isn't wishful thinking. It's your own psychology holding a door open. And what's on the other side of that door is where it gets interesting. Number 2, the past self-filing system. In 2015, the same researchers went deeper, this time with controlled experiments. When a date was framed as a new beginning, people's motivation to start on a goal rose. The reason is the strange part. The landmark created distance from what the researchers called the past, imperfect self. In plain terms, the version of you who skipped the workouts and doom-scrolled through spring. After a clean line, that version starts to feel like a slightly different person. Not gone, just archived. That sounds like a mind trick, and in a way it is. But it's a trick your brain runs anyway, every time a chapter turns. People who reset mid-year aren't fooling themselves. They're using a feature that was already installed, and this is where identity matters. They don't say, everything changes now. They say, that was then. Small difference in words, massive difference in pressure. One version demands a new life by Friday. The other just asks for the next small step. Micro, for the record, would be gently placing the old to-do list in a drawer, not burning it, archiving it, which raises an awkward question about January. If any clean line works, why does the whole world wait for the biggest one? If gentle psychology beats loud advice for your brain, subscribing keeps more of it coming your way. And a thumbs up quietly sends this to another tired human's feed. Back to January. Third, the January myth. Somewhere along the way, everyone agreed that real change starts on January 1st. Miss it, and the next window opens in a year. That advice always felt slightly off, and the data agrees. In the 2014 data, the fresh start effect showed up after new semesters, new months, even birthdays. January doesn't own the effect. It's just the loudest example of it. And honestly, January might be the worst designed landmark of the bunch. The goals get set at maximum ambition with minimum information. A mid-year reset flips that. The year is half legible, and there's real evidence to work with. You already know which plans survived contact with reality. That's not a setback. That's data. So the people who reset mid-year aren't late to anything. They're early to the next chapter, with better intel than they had in winter. Same effect, calmer conditions, and far fewer gym crowds. And the quiet vindication: if your resolutions kept collapsing by February, the problem was never willpower. The problem was betting everything on one landmark a year, 51 other weeks, treated like a waiting room. But knowing why the reset works only matters if the reset itself doesn't eat you alive. That part is next. Fourth, the part most people overdo. A landmark gives you the opening. What you carry through it decides everything. And this is where most reset content quietly sabotages people. The classic mid-year video hands you 40 things to change before August. New morning routine, new diet, new personality. Trying to fix everything at once is a great way to fix nothing and burn out by Wednesday. The research points somewhere much gentler. The fresh start effect raises the motivation to begin. It doesn't hand out extra energy to sustain 12 overhauls. So the people who actually benefit pick one domain: sleep, or the phone, or the desk that's become an archaeological site. One domain, one small step, repeated until it's boring. Boring is the goal. Boring means it's stuck. Nobody writes a montage about boring, which is exactly why it works. There's a cozy logic to this. A good reset should feel like exhaling, not enlisting. It's a close cousin of the settle down your nervous system runs when you finally get home. There's a whole video on this channel about people who feel calm the moment they're home. The overlap isn't a coincidence. Small, familiar, repeatable. That's the territory where change survives. So skip the checklist. Choose the one thing that would make the second half feel lighter. Start there. Stay there for a while. Which leaves one question: which landmark to pick? The answer has been sitting in your week the whole time. And finally, the smallest landmark of all. Remember the tiny one from the intro, the one everybody walks past? It's Monday. Plain, unglamorous Monday. In the research, ordinary new weeks nudged goal pursuit in the same direction as New Year's, just quieter, which means a fresh start isn't an annual event. It's a weekly subscription you never canceled. That changes what failure even means. Slip on Wednesday. The next clean line is a few days away, not 7 months. People who understand temporal landmarks stop treating a bad week like a verdict. It's one accounting period, closing on schedule. The books open again in a few days, clean and unimpressed. So the whole practice comes down to something almost suspiciously small. Sunday evening or Monday morning, take one quiet minute. Ask, what's the one small step for this week? Name it, keep it tiny, and let the landmark carry the motivation for you. That's a mid-year reset in its natural habitat. Not a montage, a rhythm. And if this week goes sideways anyway, there's another checkpoint coming. There always is. One last thing, and it's the smallest one in the whole video. If a reset is calling, it doesn't need to be dramatic to be real. Quiet counts. If you're choosing a small step for the second half of the year, drop it in the comments. The club collects them. And if slow, gentle change is your speed, this channel is basically a shelf full of it. But keep this beat above all. You don't need a new year, and you don't need a new you. You just need the next clean line, and one small step over it. Micro Wins Club. Small steps towards real change.